Hikaru Nakamura absolutely pummeling the reigning world champion Gukesh D, or is he Gukesh F in this game? Not his finest performance here. How does it open? Norway chess round 8. Well, with this one, and we've got ourselves a Scotch game, laddie. This is how Hikaru plays here. Please excuse the terrible Scottish accent. The pawns attacked, defended. You just won't get this level of insightful chess commentary on Hikaru's channel. Now the bishop develops, the pawn's going to drop once more, so we get takes here. This is tried and tested, godmother theory. Now the pawn's defended like this. Both players castle, quick king safety high 5, tickled out there, and after pawn d5 captures, we don't get takes back. That's the main line, was played for years, but now we get this quirky little move, bishop g4. Gukesh does it with a whoosh, excellent etiquette at the board when you move a piece 4, 5 squares. The queen's attacked, don't Botez gambit, of course therefore the bishop gets kicked back. And now what happens if you win the pawn? You know, you never took, fine, I'll gobble here. Well, this is the point, check. You take advantage of how the king got opened, you give up your bishop pair, but this pawn's now also going to drop. The white structure's compromised and you can neutralize this bishop pair so it doesn't really count for so much. The knight's coming to d5, all is well in the world. So we didn't see that one played, not that you couldn't play that way, but instead we get bishop g5. This is what Hikaru's going for. Now we get takes in the center here, and after bishop takes, this is all home prep, cooked up, summer mama's best cooking. These ones both hit, looks terrible. This is also attacked, but this is the point. Black can play this, get away with it. It looks like you should take the bishop, pick up the bishop pair, but it's not actually the best. We're going to stick with the game continuation because this was played and now you have to flick in the check so as not to lose the piece. The queen saves itself, covers the c7 pawn at the same time. The rook develops, blasts that lady back. She stays with the pawn, and now check is played. Hikaru kind of fires it off at Gukesh at this point. Love to see it. The king sidesteps and queen e2, preparing a deadly attack. Therefore, bishop g6 is the main starting move to neutralize this bishop. But Gukesh goes into the tank here. He's a little uncomfortable, spends 30 minutes and plays rook a b8. Also a good move. What are the subtle differences between that and this one first? Who knows? Driven many a grandmaster insane. This was selected. Hikaru now carries on with his plan, threatening mate in 1. Of course you cover with the bishop. You don't play the hugely ugly pawn g6 there. And now after takes with check, you've got a choice. Which one to recapture with here? Do have a think. Now, if you played queen takes, well, you really ought to go and hang your head in shame because you just got checkmated. If we follow the line, you're getting branked. That's back and rank, branked. We come back here. You should play HG, always captured towards the center. But somehow, Gukesh seeing some ghosts down the H file or something. He plays F takes. Looks dynamic, opening the rook, but there's a big problem. After takes and takes, Hikaru's going to run the H pawn up the board, and these ones are completely frozen. If you push H6, then you lose this one, and a huge amount of light square control. If you try G5, you get mated. It just isn't working. Now don't start with this move or the queen comes and sits on g3 like a big female sumo wrestler. Not ideal. So Hikaru starts with that. Rook f8, king g2, bishop b6. I mean, all Gukesh can do is thrash on the dark squares, and here comes Harry the h-pawn. Hikaru trying to catch Gukesh up on the old Harry meter. Gukesh currently winning. Who's pushed the h-pawn the most times? Queen c5 goes for the check, but I love this. Just f4, cementing the entire pawn structure on the opposite colour complex to these ones. And so what if you check? You run away, no biggie. Everything's covered, all's fine. So we run back here. Gukesh tries this randomizer, queen f5. Now it's not actually good. You can take and take and take. Again the tactics, because then you're getting checkmated once more. So after this, takes there. Black would have to go for something like this. Opposite colour bishops should be good for white, but not so easy to assess. This one therefore was played, and Hikaru goes queen c4, opens the attack. The lady is saved. Hikaru whispers, "Do you even rook lift, bro?" As the queen now hits d6. I mean, all of Gukesh's moves just thrashing right. c3 is played to cover queen d4, which then looked at this. I mean, the computer doesn't care, right? But human chess looked a bit annoying, and you don't really want to trade the queens and it get drawish. So this was now played invading, but king h3, pawns covered, no problems, and queen d6. Like said, Gukesh just pogo sticking back and forth, what to do. King g2, are we going to see a threefold repetition, almost as legendary as this one?
And there it is.
And there it is.
Wow. Well, we just said the same exact
thing. Did we just say the same exact... Did we just do that 3 times? Seriously?
No, we're not, because Hikaru now plays queen e4, h4, coming to a cinema near you soon. Finally it comes at this moment here, and it's just taking that tin opener to the king side there. It's brutal. Check is played. You couldn't take, or you were getting mated. Of course you can't push, or takes here. Well, not with the pawn, probably with the queen rather. Now we see king g2. Bishop d6, don't blunder your rook. Rook f6 goes for some exchanges, but Hikaru checks. If you go back with the rook, well, you can be taking and then ripping things open and so on. So we didn't see that. We saw bishop f8, but it's really just a choice right now of which cheese is the stinkiest. They're all pretty moldy. Now we see queen a8, going for the corner and saying, fine, take my bishop on d3, but then I take here and you get back rank checkmated. Constant recurring theme, but you can never create the Lufthansa for the king because of course it still gets boxed in. So queen d6 was played to defend all bases, but now look at this, by the way, all the white pieces on light squares, all the dark on dark squares. Such a classic setup when you've got opposite color bishops. If you're attacking, you're living the dream. Rook d8's now played. Chases the queen once more. I mean, how many queen moves has Gukesh got through? She's getting absolutely... No, I'm not going to finish that sentence. It sounds very, very wrong. So I won't say what I'm about to say. H takes on g6 was played. Finally, cracking open the king. And if you go h6 here, I forgot what the killer blow is, but I think bishop to c4, come in here and interrupting the rook's connection. And the king can never get over. It's just completely in jail. So coming back, we see h takes on g6. You could play bishop takes because the rook's overloaded, but it isn't the most precise way to play. You give black queen e2 check. Who knows if there's perpetuals there? Don't go down that road. So queen c8's excellent. Slides back, preparing to hit the h file, and then of course these ideas are in the air. So queen c5 covers bishop c4, also prepares queen h5 to defend, but more great chess. I mean, Hikaru going at it with filigree precision this game. Bishop e4, preparing to centralize. Gukesh desperately tries the randomizer with Gary the G pawn, but this isn't a good Gary. If you know a Gary, give a Gary a hug. They're a dying breed here in the UK. They're going strong over in Nebraska. This is our favourite Gary. This is a bad Gary. This is an ugly Gary. This is a dead Gary after Hikaru takes. And you can't even capture like this, or you're getting wham bam slammed with this. And once again, it's not just check, but mate. So queen doesn't take the pawn. Instead, we see queen f2 check. By the way, if you checked earlier before taking the pawn, the rook could have intercepted. So Hikaru's seeing all of this geometry. He's seeing he can now hide out here. He's seeing that upon queen f1 check, he's got bishop g2. It's epic chess. Now rook f7's played. It was attacked, of course, and g6 allows the rook to come back. But this guy is fully incarcerated. Queen g4 is played. More beautiful precision on the light squares. Check. Now the king goes. Sorry, no it doesn't. The bishop blocks. Now queen c1 prepares to cover that king, but check anyway. The queen blocks, and the beautiful icing on the cake of this incredible Zugzwang kind of game, bishop d5. And there's just nothing to do. all the pieces are tied down. Bishop f7's on the way when this one then drops, and if you take here, still drops. If you try this, we'll take simply played, and what to do? You can wait with the rook, but the interception can be played, other good moves too, and this leads to the win of a bishop. And okay, here's how the game could have possibly ended. One line I was clicking through, there's a checkmate. Awesome game by Hikaru, which he got from a bad opening move or opening middle game prep by Gukesh. Hope you enjoyed this one. Have a look at the video on screen if you want some more epic chess, and I hope to see you again soon. Cheers.